Like it just happened, and that's all. That's all it took. It took 3 or 4 games for it to just happen. We had 3 or 4 games where I was a little off because it was something new. But after that, we had our conversation at dinner, and then after that, it was like, okay, this is what you like to do. This is what I like to do. This is how I like to play. And from there, it was like, okay, we got it. So that was the most impressive thing for me.
No, it's good to hear that because I had never been in a situation like that before, right? Like I was used to, I played a certain type of way. I played for a certain type of organization. So when I got traded, I thought to myself, what would I like if somebody came, to our team mid-season? I was like, how would I want to be coached? How would I want to lead? And I was out. But I wanted you guys to understand that, like, look, I'm just trying to win. Coach me, teach me. Like, I'm not going to know some of y'all plays. I'm not going to be in the right spots at times, but, like, don't be afraid, like, 1 through 15. Even if you don't play minutes, like, you need to be telling me, CJ, nah, I do it like this. I seen this. You missed. Trey was right here. He was open. Jose was one more. Like, you got to see that. Like, I need that for me to tap into, like, that next level of what I think is, whatever my ceiling looks like. I want to hit whatever I'm supposed to maximize as an offensive player, as a defensive player, as a basketball player. I want to be able to tap into that. And I felt like this was the spot where I would be challenged in different ways I hadn't been challenged before, and it would make me uncomfortable. And I wanted to be put in an uncomfortable situation because I think that's when, success is prevalent. Like, you really get challenged. Back against the wall, you fold, you crumble, or you rise to the occasion. And it was a good challenge for us, and I'm glad we was able to have those conversations. And I think it was important. Like I said before, when we sat down at dinner, I was like, look, you got to be you. You got to go to work. You got to be the killer. You got to be the guy like you. You want to be the best player in the NBA? Go do that, and I'm going to help you do that. And when things aren't going well, we still got to have each other's back. And I think we're at that point now because we've been through the fire. We've been through tough losses and tough wins. And as I preach, I want to talk about the progress. You talked about 3-4 games in, how it started to click. We ended up going, playing game, playoffs. What was that run like? Referencing how, in previous years, the fans weren't there. They weren't as supportive because the product maybe wasn't as great or whatever the case may be. But talk about that run, what that was like for us, how close we were to beating Phoenix, and then what you're looking forward to most this upcoming season.
That was the funnest part for me. Besides high school basketball and winning 4 state championships, that was like the funnest part for me in the play-in and playoffs because it gave me a chance to really, really lock in and say, okay, if I need to sacrifice this thing, then I'm gonna do it, and for my team to really, really lock in on what I'm doing in these playoffs. And in this play-in, like the play-in was like really fun. I was super locked in. Like I was like to a point where I was like I had like one stone face. Like I didn't budge. Somebody was talking to me. I barely was talking back. Like I was like truly, truly locked in. I was watching my film at home. I always have this period where I'm like watching all type of highlights where I'm like looking at different players that was really, really great. So like I was prepared for that moment, and it was a time where we weren't on TV, so nobody knew about New Orleans but us, but we truly believed in each other. So it was like, okay, it's really us against them, and we know we have the upper hand. Like we really know we have the upper hand. We really know we can beat these teams. So the play-in was really, really fun for me, especially after PG said he had COVID in the play-in game. I was like, okay, it's over with. This probably won't be a game tonight. It's over with. But going into the playoffs, I was even more excited. I didn't know what to expect. But just the first game, seeing the fans, seeing all those fans out there in Phoenix, I was like, okay, this is how this is going. Everybody fouling. We're not getting foul calls. It's not going to the free throw line. Everything's going Phoenix way. So that was like, okay, this is the wake up call for me to be as Willie used today, to be relentless. So like I got more and more comfortable after each game in the playoffs. I'm truly looking forward to this playoff year, but I know it's stepping stones. I know we have to continue to learn, continue to get better this year, and do everything that we can to be a really, really, really good team when we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season, man. Obviously, we get the big fella back. We got a full training camp we're going through right now for cohesiveness, for chemistry, and just a better understanding of what we want to accomplish and how we're going to do it. I think that experience that we got was really important as a unit to get to play in a must-win, like, elimination game, playing a must-win regular season game, and then have to go on the road against, a high seed. I think they was the number one seed. Have to go against the number one seed against a veteran team with a veteran point guard in CP, where they're going to challenge us in different ways. I think that was really important for us. Talked about your film study. I want people to truly understand how much time you put into this sport, not just on the court, but off the court. The type of film that you watch. You talked about YouTube highlights. When we were going to dinner in Phoenix, we was both watching League Pass games, right? Like, that's like, people don't understand. Like, we really love this game. How much film do you watch in your spare time? And then I know I've noticed it, since I started traveling with the team and being a part of this team. When we land in a city, you do the same thing every time we land. So maybe talk about what you do when we land in cities and why.
Well, I'm at the point right now where, for the season, or I'll have a challenge for myself where I write in my notes, like, for the next 30 days, I'll watch nothing but basketball. So when I get home, it's like, I don't watch a regular TV show. If I'm putting some on my TV, it's like they got an hour-long videos of Michael Jordan highlights of just 96, 97. Just 96, 97. I'll just go home and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to get my lunch. I'm going to go do this, and I'm just watching this. I'm just watching this the whole time. Just him in the mid-post, him pulling up from three, him getting all the way to the rim, him finding passes on the wing, just his defensive play, anticipating passes, just everything that I can just kind of pick up on, just seeing different techniques that made it easier for him just to pick up on. So, like, that's just like my whole life. If I'm going home, I'm just watching basketball. I don't want to watch anything else, because I always think about who working harder than me. I always think about if I lack something in my routine, then somebody else is doing something better than me. So, like, I always just try to stay on top of my stuff. And when I'm landing in different cities, I got a routine to, like, get some food. I got a routine that I got to make sure that every part of my body is feeling strong. I got my own people to tell them if something is feeling something different on my body, it's not feeling the same, it's weaker, whatever it is. I got people to tell that, and they can make decisions on what type of workouts that I do that's going to help me for the next day. Whether I land and go to the gym, if I can get shots up in my body feeling good, I'm always just trying to make myself feel comfortable and be in the rhythm so I can be good for my teammates. That's the ultimate thing that I care about. I got to make sure that I'm there for my teammates. I got to be reliable.
That's really dope, and that's a dope challenge to just watch basketball highlights with Netflix and Hulu. You got all these different distractions, and I think that kind of shows how locked in you are, but also how much you love